Hi, I'm Rosh from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we dive headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat with industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities, asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal, a zero carbon future. Today, I'm absolutely ecstatic to be chatting to a good friend of mine, Andreas Boeck, who's the managing director at Axitec Australia or Axitec Energy Australia. Andreas, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Roshan. Nice to see you again. Always a pleasure.
Good man. It's been an interesting few weeks, obviously, with everything that's happened with the floods. We won't go into that conversation today.
No, let's not.
Mate, but look, obviously, our hearts go out to every single person out there who's been affected. I mean, I know you and I have spoken at length about it, and we're obviously devastated and gutted for all the impact it's had, on the residents across, sort of Southeast Queensland, New South Wales, and look, it really, we'll talk about a bit more about global warming soon, but clearly things are changing, right?
Absolutely. As you know, I'm already up in Queensland at the moment as well, and I can see the devastation of the floods, what it's caused to all these people out here as well, and it is a tragedy. So we need to do some changes. So it's definitely something that we need to seriously look at.
No, absolutely. Well, look, mate, first and foremost, and obviously a lot of people, people watching today may or may not know you. Obviously, Axitec is a panel that I know incredibly well. But firstly, with yourself personally, I mean, tell me a little bit about your journey getting into renewable energy and solar power.
Well, with me, I started probably about 13 years ago. That's when I basically got into it. I started doing retail and commercial sales. So I started like a lot of the other guys out there as well. Did that for quite a number of years. And then I moved into the wholesale. So I was working for distributors, did my stint for about 7 years doing wholesaling. So that's how I got my traction in the market and knew all the products, what everyone is basically selling out there. And then the best opportunity came along to join a manufacturer. So that's when I joined with Axitec Germany.
And why did you choose Axitec? I mean, like obviously from an Energy Matters perspective, I mean, we love the quality, the workmanship, the brand itself it's maybe a bit of it's now an up and comer in the Australian market. But what attracted you to the brand in the first place?
Well, I'm Austrian myself, so European. I know how well the Germans or the Europeans manufacture the products as well. So when this opportunity came along, I've always said, if I'm going to join a manufacturer, it has to be a quality manufacturer as well. And being a German company as well, it was a no-brainer to basically join them as well, because I know, like I said, I know how they manufacture things, and I know the quality level that they go to as well, and they won't take second best. So it's something that I thrive for, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
No, good man. And once again, I mean, I can waffle on as much as I could possibly do about the product itself, but if you were just to break it down to three key components, I mean, what three things do you want customers to know about Axitec? I mean, what differentiates this particular panel from its competitors?
Well, I think the first thing is quality. We are classifying ourselves as a high quality German solar brand. So everything, our head office is in Germany, R&D is done in Germany, engineering, everything gets done through our German headquarters. So quality is our biggest thing. So whatever we use in our modules as well is all high quality materials as well. So we don't skip anything. Everything has to be done properly. Otherwise, it won't get released out of our factories as well. Company's been around for 21 years, so it's a good, solid company as well. And with worldwide offices, we thrive on our quality level.
And the reality is, you're here in Australia, which is a huge thing. I mean, I know from chatting to our customers on a daily basis. I mean, really, it's installing the products is one thing, and knowing that the install is fantastic is great. But you're always going to have that concern that if something goes wrong, how accessible is the actual manufacturer. And the fact that you guys have actually gone to the trouble to establish a premises here in Australia, and you personally being here is awesome. And that's a huge win for anyone installing that product.
Absolutely, and that was going to be my next point, is our warranties. I think we've got a very good, solid 15-year product warranty. Like you said, Australian office here as well, which I man with my salespeople. So all the warranties basically get handled locally, and on our warranty document, it also stipulates Germany is our second port of call. So you don't have to deal with anyone else. If it's not me, it'll be Germany backing us up at all times. So the customer doesn't have to be concerned about anything.
Yeah, which is absolutely amazing. And look, and once again, I mean, like, a lot of our customers would always say to us, look, we really want a European product. We actually want to, and once again, look, I'm never going to be the person that sort of like throws mud at any country in the world that manufactures and produces technology, because we're all for a zero carbon future. So we want everybody to go solar. But the fact that you have got that, sort of made in Germany, engineered in Germany, head office in Germany, I mean, that speaks volumes for the brand in itself.
Just to clarify one thing, because you did say made in Germany. We're not made in Germany, but that doesn't mean the quality differs as well. We've got factories all around the world, just basically to keep the costs down, but we've got our own staff in our factories, so quality level does not get harmed in any way as well. And that's what we stipulate to all of our customers as well. So another point is our customer service, and this is something that's close to my heart as well, because I treat this as my own business as well, because to me, customer service is always the most important. So when I give someone my phone number, I answer it virtually 24/7. So if customers have got a concern, if our distributors have got a concern, installers, they've known my number, they can call me. We're here all the time as well, just to make sure that we handle any issues whatsoever. So when it comes to any warranty issues, we don't let you go for weeks on end. We handle it straight away. So we know the end customer wants their product working. So we make sure that everything gets changed over straight away without waiting.
Yeah. And the reality is, I mean, I've not come across any, like, none of our customers that have installed your product have ever said anything other than, how happy they are with the, with the solution they've been presented to. And clearly you have some great installers out there who do a fantastic job. Speaking of which, we are featuring a home on Open Homes Australia this Saturday with your product installed by Ryan at Global. And it's an absolutely stunning property. Before we talk about open homes, let me quickly play a clip to anyone watching today. If you're listening, I apologise because you won't see it, but you'll hear it. Give me 1 second, and we'll just quickly play
on this episode of Open Homes. Some Bali inspiration on the Gold Coast, a coastal dream home, modern industrial in a rural setting. We get a special tour of this house from the Block 2021. James takes a peek through a Hamptons-inspired home in Sydney. And Jimmy gets a tour of an impressive transformation of a classic Australian 60s brick home.
You can just think back to the 60s and there would have been Kingswood workouts lining the streets, dudes in their stubbies and their pluggers rolling around with a bottle of 4X.
Come with us as we step inside.
It sounds like Jimmy's going to get on the beers this week. Look, Andreas, I mean, why did you, clearly Open Homes Australia is fantastic and it's a great show and it's a good opportunity to showcase some stunning properties, and from our perspective, also showcase, beautiful property with renewable energy technology, which I know we're both committed to. But why did Axitec as a brand and yourself choose to get involved in Open Homes?
I think it was a no-brainer, really, because as you mentioned, we've only been in Australia for the last couple of years, so marketing is a big thing as well, and we wanted to basically showcase our quality product Australia-wide, and basically show people who we are, what we can do as well, and get an audience Australia-wide, which helps us on promoting our brand.
No, absolutely. And what particular product are you going to be showcasing? I know, what is the latest product from Axitec right now?
Well, this isn't the latest product. The product that we used on this particular home was our 370-watt mono half-cell black frame. So at the time when we did the installation, which was middle of last year, basically that was our product range then. So it was the perfect fit for that particular house as well. So since then, yes, we've had more product come on board as well, different sizes. So, but our 370 watt modules are still the most popular around Australia at the moment.
Yeah, wow. Why is that?
I think it's just a perfect size. Everyone's still going with that 6.6 kilowatt system or 9.9. So they love using the 370s, but there will be changes and the 370s will start to disappear middle of this year.
Yeah, gotcha, mate. Fair play. And look, let's just quickly moving on to a little bit to the industry itself. I mean, what trends, you've obviously referenced the 6.6 kilowatt system, and that literally has been the system of choice almost for like the last couple of years. I mean, what trends are you seeing in the market right now?
I think what is going to happen is we're going with larger systems. So I think 6.6 kilowatt systems is great for those smaller homes, but we are going to 10, 12, 13 kilowatt system, whatever they can basically put on a house these days as well. Because power bills, as you know, are going up and up. So basic customers are trying to fill their roof spaces to get those electricity bills down to virtually nothing. So the trend is going bigger. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely, and to be fair, we've had exactly the same feedback too. I mean, our philosophy, and I think I mentioned this almost every single week, is if you've got the roof space, max it out. Because the reality is, I mean, you get the STCs. I mean, that's going down annually anyway. And the reality is, if you've got the available roof space, get your panels on there, and then prepare yourself for batteries. Because fundamentally, people are going to move towards battery technology, whether they do now or wait a little bit longer. And of course, the pricing will hopefully come down as lithium obviously becomes more accessible. But the reality is, batteries do make sense financially right now too. And at the same token, getting the installation done with a quality product like Axitec makes complete sense. If you can fit 10 kilowatts, install 10 kilowatts. And you may feed some back into the grid. And yes, the feed-in tariff isn't fantastic. It's but you're getting something. And then understand how you use electricity and make the call whether or not you install a battery. I mean, from a solar panel manufacturer's perspective, I mean, what challenges are you facing right now in the industry? I know we had a terrible time like last year with the logistics and importing stock and components, but what challenges are you facing right now?
At the moment, everyone basically thought that the challenges are starting to disappear, but it's just getting really worse at the moment. Now with this conflict in Ukraine as well, we have got higher fuel costs, which basically will reflect to our freight costings as well. So it doesn't matter where you're going to ship it from, the shipping companies are going to start charging at a premium. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is if you manufacture in China as well, China is under strict COVID rules still at the moment as well. So they're basically shutting down cities as we speak, and manufacturing will basically stop. Polysilicon pricing is still going up on a constant basis, so that's going to reflect on the overall sale price as well. And now that we've got this conflict as well, we've got aluminium components, which all the raw materials, which a lot of it is coming from Russia. So that is going to cause an impact on the pricing. So with the going trend at the moment where everyone's selling cheap, it's not sustainable. Pricing is still increasing. It will increase for at least another few months yet. Probably go steady over the rest of the year. So overall, it will be more expensive, basically, to manufacture modules and to actually bring them into the country. So another problem is going to be shortages. So you will see a lot of manufacturers are going to have shortages on modules as well. So we are always pre-planning because we don't know if anything's going to shut down or cause any issues as well. So we always try and keep as much stock as possible here in Australia to make sure that we can sustain the amount of sales that we have at the moment for a few weeks or months ahead. So if there is any shortages, we've got the stock here.
Yeah, no, fair play. And that's amazing. I mean, once again, retailers that we know that do actually install your particular product, always are very happy about the fact there's so much available. And there hasn't been any issues that I've heard of so far, which is a massive plus. But unfortunately, with any organisation, you're not immune from it. And
absolutely,
those catch up. So, which is, but, and once again, like we always encourage everybody looking at solar power, seize the moment, right? It's all carpe diem. You can't, don't procrastinate. I mean, the fact is the worst thing you can do if as a consumer is to procrastinate and think, well, would it be a bit better next year? You're paying electricity today, solve your issue today. And which brings me to one of my other questions. I mean, I, as you know, am absolute stand for battery technology. I love battery technology. I think it's amazing. And yes, it's you have to sometimes almost look at the conversation and say, is it return on investment? You can definitely manage that conversation with panels. But with a battery, it's kind of one of those ones where it's more kind of about, reducing your carbon footprint, in my opinion. And if you can make it affordable, fantastic, which you generally can with payment plans. But what's your opinion? I mean, do you think batteries and EV cars are worth it right now?
Absolutely. It's really a no-brainer. Okay, return of investment sometimes is a lot higher than it should be, but we're talking about reducing your overall, like you said, your overall carbon footprint as well, and buying less of the expensive electricity that's at the moment we're facing in more higher costs as well. So getting an electric car, have a look at the petrol pricing at the moment. So it makes perfect sense looking at the electric car as well. Battery, absolutely. You have a look at the power failures that we've got, the flood situations, all of those things where they have to cut the power as well. At least if you've got a battery system, you're still going to have power out there as well. So to me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm going to do the same thing as well later on this year on my home to put a EV charger and basically a battery system on there as well.
Yeah, no, and we're the same, and we're looking to buy at the end of the year, and we rent at the moment in an apartment, which is like and despite my protest, they won't install solar on the roof. I'm a renter, so I have no say in the bloody corporate. So we're certainly going to max out our property with panels and batteries and an EV charger as soon as we get to move. But look, for me, once again, it's it's an absolute no-brainer from the respect of yes, there is a conversation to be had about reducing your energy bill and getting control and power back, and literally building your own, an energy generator on your roof, which it just makes complete sense from an independence perspective and saving money. But really, then from an Energy Matters point of view, we believe in a zero carbon future, and now really is the time. I mean, there's we've seen that the recent events of the floods, with the bushfires last year, a couple of years ago. The weather patterns are erratic. I mean, what are your thoughts on climate change? I mean, are you seeing things starting to shift?
My point of view on climate change is it's happening. You can't dispute it anymore. You have a look at, like you discussed, the amount of flooding that we're getting on a yearly basis, the bushfires, the change of seasons. It is happening, and it's happening a lot faster than a lot of people thought in the first place. So anyone that doesn't think it's actually going on, have a look outside. Have a look at the news, what's actually happening out there. We need to do something. We need to do something about it really quickly. Otherwise, there won't be much left anymore in the future. So, it's whatever we can do to help out. That's our plan as well. So, and that's why exactly, we are responsible manufacturers. So when it comes to recycling, we do the same thing with the recycling as well. So we've just engaged with Reclaim PV as well to make sure that any of our modules get recycled in a proper manner as well. So they shouldn't go to landfill. It has to be recycled accordingly.
No, that's absolutely fantastic, and it really is. I mean, we do get inquiries coming through each week from people saying, it's all well and good. You're pitching solar power and you want people to go renewable, which is great, but aren't we part of the problem as well from the manufacturing process and from landfill? And what actually, what's amazing to see now is companies like Reclaim, are able to strip back the panel to I think it's 99.8% recyclable.
Correct.
Which is absolutely incredible. I mean, not everybody, like in my scenario, I live in an apartment, I'm renting, I have no say whether or not I can get solar power or not. At some point I will, which is amazing. But what small changes can people make to move us towards a zero carbon future? I mean, what advice would you give people listening today?
Well, have a look at the energy consumption that and the devices that you've got at home. Start at home. If you've got old devices which are going to use a lot more power, well, unfortunately, you're going to need to get rid of them and buy something new, which is going to be a lot more energy efficient. Same with water. Same with all the gas side as well. So it's all about doing your own little research. Get someone out to review your premises as well, and see how much power you're actually using at home. Do your own research on it. There's lots of ways you can save by changing things within your actual home. It doesn't matter if you've got your own home or you're renting. There's still a lot of changes that you can actually make.
No, absolutely. I mean, the great thing about today's education. I mean, my daughter, she's now 11, and she comes home. And the example I've used, I think, every single week on this podcast is like in the most recent Christmas. I mean, she loves LOLs and Barbie, and she got all of her, Santa was very kind to her. But when she was stripping back the packaging and like obviously getting out toys, we were left with this pile of paper and plastic. And her question was, why are they using plastic? I mean, like she understands recycling, and we go down every day to the basement and put our materials in the recommended bin or the right bin, the paper and the metal one, and obviously the plastic in the part that's going to go to landfill. And the disappointing thing for her is there is so much landfill. I mean, there's still so much junk and so much rubbish that she knows is not going to be recycled. And from her perspective, it makes absolutely no sense. I mean, what actions do you take? I mean, is there anything else that you would like to throw in on the topic?
It's just think about it. It's not about our generation anymore. It's about the next generation and beyond as well. So what we can do, whatever we can do now to make the changes, do it. Have a look at your kids and your kids' kids as well. They're going to be the ones being stuck with a world full of unrecyclable materials out there in the rubbish tips, which are going to be a huge problem in the long run. And it's like I said, even my kids when they were little, they used to call me the energy Nazi at home because I used to go along and turn PowerPoints off all the time and turn lights off. It's just simple things that you can do at home. If you don't need it, don't switch it on. Okay, I might only make it a little bit of a difference, but if everyone does it, it's going to make a huge difference as well. And I think what we need to do is rely more on solar power, especially some of the larger electricity companies need to start utilising our space. We've got such a large country with so much open room. Start putting more solar in. That's
exactly ridiculous, isn't it? Like how much land mass have.
You have a look at Europe. Europe is so contained. You've got so many people there with little room for solar, and they're still the world leaders with installing solar.
I remember I got into solar in 2009, and I remember heavily, how successful and how Germany. Right, Germany was leading the charge in terms of installation of solar power, and I was obviously in Australia, and I was thinking, how can a country like similar sort of weather to the UK where I was born, be such a pioneer for the technology, because they're going to have cloudy days, rainy days, and obviously summer's going to be okay. But once again, just leading the charge, which is incredibly inspirational, and it also disappoints me when you consider that I think we're at about 30%, like 30% of Australian installable homes have solar power. And I've been in the industry since 2009, so that's like 12 years later, 13 years later, only 30% of homes have got solar power. I mean, that's pretty slow.
It's disgusting, actually, and that's the only word you can basically describe it. When you have a look at all the other countries around the world and how they are progressing with it. And there's us over here, and we're just not going fast enough, unfortunately. No,
I mean, look, fair play to the state government. I mean, they're, all the different state governments are certainly having a crack and coming up with their own programs or rebates and incentives to assist homeowners and business owners to go solar. I mean, look, once again, I'm not here to make this a political conversation and to slam our federal government, but there definitely needs to be a bit more of a,
I know where you're coming from.
Mate, good man. Well, look, final question for you, really, Andreas, and it's like, be shamelessly, advertorial about your brand. I mean, what's next for Axitec? I mean, what do you want the public to know about your business and what's happening there next?
We've got lots of changes happening. We've got new model panels coming out later this year as well. So for resi and commercial as well. New technology, new wattage sizes. We've got a EV charger arriving within the next 2 to 3 months in the country as well.
Awesome.
And our battery system, which is being trialled, we've had a battery system for the last 10 years as well, but that was purely for our American and European market. So this new one, it's been totally redesigned. Germany is currently doing their own testing over there. They've just received their first lot. So once it's all sorted out, then we'll get our battery system over here as well towards the end of this year. So there's a lot of changes. We're also doing cyclone testing on our smaller panels now as well. So basically, we can be used Australia-wide within the next few weeks. So it doesn't matter if you're living in a cyclone area or snow area, we've got you covered.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, mate, look, as I said to you many, many times in the past, you're one of those manufacturers that have just, sort of meandered through, come out of the woodwork, and you have a fantastic product. And it fills my heart to see you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in Open Homes because it's a beautiful home. Ryan did a sterling job. I know, you guys are mates, and and the fact is the homeowner's ecstatic with the end result. And it's just such a quality brand. So look, anyone watching today, definitely check you guys out on our site, and certainly consider using Axitec for your home installation. It's a quality product.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And look, thank you so much for joining us this morning, mate. I do appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. Anytime. If you've got any questions, just let me know.
Mate, good man. Well, look, we can't wait to see you on Saturday. Open Homes Australia, everyone, 4:30 p.m. Episode 2 is Axitec, and you'll be able to catch the rerun on 9 Now on the Catch Up TV, as well as on our site, and more than likely on the Andreas' site as well.
Absolutely.
Mate, we'll leave you there. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks, Roshan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. All right, guys. So before we finish off, just a quick reminder that you can get up to 3 free solar quotes on our website and a free energy bill comparison. Check it out at status.com.au. And please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and obviously follow us if you can on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We are now publishing our newsletters on those social media channels too, so definitely check it out. Otherwise, have a fantastic time, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.